for a moment of silent prayer. Amen. Amen. Would you lead us in?
I believe in the pledge to the flag.
Okay.
Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Call the January 20th meeting of the Doddridge County Commission to order at 4:01. You all have received the minutes for the previous meeting. Have you had time to review them? Hearing.
Found one
Oh, okay.
minor mistake
Okay.
next to the last page. Just type error is all it is. I think Mr. Robinson said that he felt the issue no were mutual aid agreement. I think he means now. There's something I found.
Okay, with that amendment, do we have a motion to approve?
I move we approve the minutes as read.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay, correspondence. Doddridge County Commission. My name is Brenda Knott. I live in Mason County, West Virginia. I have enclosed important information that will make West Virginia a safer and a better place to live. West Virginia House of Delegate Jim Butler, District 14, is at this time drafting a new law. This new law is comparative to the existing law 17C-13-3-18. I call this law Sarah Knott's Law because it was due to her that this problem was exposed. Delegate Butler will be introducing this law at the first session of the 81st West Virginia Legislature in Charleston, West Virginia, January 14, 2015. Sarah Knott's Law will not increase any taxes or require any special funding. The only thing this law will do is make West Virginia safer and save lives. You may think that this law will not benefit your county. If so, please consider endorsing it as an act of kindness to the other counties that are in great need for this law. Greatly concerned, Brenda L. Knott, 140 Park Drive, Point Pleasant, West Virginia. Also enclosed are endorsements from the Mason County Commission, the Monongalia County Commission, and the Boone County Commission. And I won't read through the 3 pages. If anybody wants to see it, you're more than welcome. It has to do with an accident, and apparently it took the life of Sarah Knott, and says she was attempting to exit a parking lot that merged directly into a highway. So it's dealing with that. If anybody wants to see this, I'll pass this over to the clerk. Got a letter here from Downstream Strategies, and thank you, Mariana, for bringing this in. I had printed this off, and I had forgotten to bring it with me. It's from Downstream Strategies to Mr. Robinson and the Doddridge County Commission. On October 21st, 2014, I collected a water sample in Middle Island Creek upstream of the intake for the West Union Water Treatment Plant. The results of the lab analysis show no major concerns at this point about the water quality. There were no exceedances of federal drinking water maximum containment levels or West Virginia's surface water standards. There were exceedances of the federal secondary standards for aluminum and iron but these standards are non-enforceable and are for aesthetic values such as taste, color, or odor. It is not uncommon for West Virginia surface waters to exceed these secondary standards. There were detections of chloride and sulfate, but these values are acceptable for West Virginia surface waters. The total organic carbon, or TOC, values are acceptable for West Virginia surface waters. The field measurements collected at the time of sampling, specific conductance, pH, and temperature are acceptable values for West Virginia surface water. There were detections of gross alpha, gross beta, radium-226, and radium-228, but all values were below water quality standards. These values are higher than the values reported for the July 9 sampling trip, but they are the same order of magnitude and may be a result of natural variation. Given the rest of the results, these values in themselves do not necessarily indicate contamination. The values from the October 21 visit are generally comparable to the July 9 visit, and no significant difference in general water quality between the two sampling visits is noted. Please feel free to contact me if you have any questions. Thank you. Kendra Hatcher. I have a letter from Mariana Barron. Dear Commissioners Sandora, Robinson, and Travis, I was unable to attend the first meeting of 2015 that occurred on January 6, 2015 at 9 a.m. due to weather conditions. I was dismayed to hear that the three of you voted to change the second meeting of month's time from 6 p.m. to 4 p.m. It is also my understanding that this was not on the agenda. My understanding is that for something to be voted on, that it had to be an agenda item. I would also like to respectfully remind you that the meeting time was originally changed from 4 to 6 p.m. to give an opportunity to the Doddridge County's working residents the opportunity to attend a county commission meeting without them having to take time off from work. For some folks, taking time off from work can be a financial burden or may not even be possible. I would respectfully urge you to reconsider your decision. Respectfully, Mariana Beard, Doddridge County resident, taxpayer, and registered voter. I will address this one. The very first meeting of the year, in all cases, all county commissions are supposed to set the agenda for the meetings, the dates and times for the meetings for the rest of the year. So, as far as I know, it doesn't have to be on the agenda. It's just like electing the president of the county commission. So, one more letter. It's from Tammy Beamer. Dear Commissioners, I presented a letter at your January 6, 2015 meeting containing information concerning the DCAA's in-house financial reports, noting that comparing the Treasurer's report to their profit and loss statement, that the totals were significantly different. For example, a $72,000 difference existed. I want to make perfectly clear, as I did when forwarding these findings to Brooke Knight Fitzgerald, DC prosecutor, I am not accusing anyone of theft of government funds, but I do feel there may have mistakes made that have accumulated over time. I asked the Commission what action they would take to confirm or explain these findings, and was told that I and Kay Hudson were incorrect in our conclusions and the questions presented. We have been told in the past that the DCAA operates on a cash basis, but the profit and loss statement had a notation that it is on an accrual basis. In our review of the profit and loss statements, we note that none of the statements includes, for example, an account for depreciation expense or for bad debt expense that are indicative of an accrual basis. Does the DCAA not have any equipment that is depreciated? Has the DCAA collect 100% of the fees it bills. Since I presented these concerns, I have received the December 30, 2014 Treasurer's Report and their profit and loss statement, dated December 14, 2014, but included some income and expenses reported as late as December 30, 2014. These documents indicate a difference between the two reports of $1,110.20 in income and a difference of $4,734.57, with the profit and loss showing loss in net income of $1,301.66 for the month of December 2014. I find that these reports seem to be misleading and am concerned, since the DCAA board should be planning DCAA spending and budgeting for the future based on a solid report of past income and expenses. Shouldn't there be an explanation for these differences? What action will this commission take to guarantee discrepancies are identified and corrected if necessary, and that the DCAA is following accounting principles set out by the government's Accounting Standards Board? Also, I would like to make a complaint concerning the DCAA's unwillingness, maybe inability, to respond to FOIA requests. Response to Freedom of Information Act requests are required to be made within 5 business days of receipt. I asked by FOIA to review the DCAA's minute books on December 29, 2014 to compare past treasurer's reports to their profit and loss statements, and was told on January 14, 2015 by Mr. Krim that if I would tell him which minutes I wanted, he would copy them for me. I don't need copies. I needed to review the minutes, which by law I have the right to do. Number 2, I requested by FOIA on January 14, 2015 a copy of the DCAA's licensure inspection, preformed on or around December 16, 2014. Mr. Krim refused this request on the same day due to what he noted as a long list of privacy issues. I responded that the information I was looking for was the results of the report, to include score, deficiencies, and items of merit. I have not received a return response from Mr. Krim. For your review, I emailed the DCAA's December 14, 2014 Treasurer's Report, Profit and Loss Statement, and DCAA's December 2014 minutes to Beth Rogers, Doddridge County Clerk. Sincerely, Tammy Beamer. My response to that is that I have attempted to respond, and I couldn't make anybody, or I couldn't make you understand. Whether it's that I'm a bad teacher or whatever the reason, I have chosen that. I mean, the other two commissioners can respond to you anytime they want to, but I have no desire to respond. So that's the correspondence. Do we have the? Could somebody hand me the?
Anybody didn't sign in?
Looks like 4 people want to speak, so we will have the 5 minutes for each person. The first person is Tammy Beamer.
I'd like to give my time to Jody.
Okay. She had indicated that she wanted to speak anyway, so.
Yeah, so you just calls me. Good afternoon. I was distressed to learn that the second monthly meeting of the Doddridge County Commission had been changed back to 4 p.m. I've been racking my brain and can't recall, and a review of the agenda and the minutes might reveal that it actually was an agenda item. I can't say that with 100% certainty, but I do recall the 3 commissioners at that time were in full support of changing it to 6 p.m. I've also been racking my brain to come up with the rationale as to why it was moved back to 4 p.m. And sadly, I can come up with only 2 possible reasons. One, either folks having to serve the citizens of this county would like to get home earlier, or 2, perhaps some folks elected to serve the people of this county may be attempting to nullify the ability of working folks in this county to participate fully in the democratic process. I'm not a county commissioner. If I were, I would hope that as I stood to say the Pledge of Allegiance and place my hand over my heart, I would do so with the full awareness and commitment to listen to serve, and to represent all of the residents of this county, not just the ones who elected me. I also hope that I would be ever mindful that at least in part, the compensation I received by serving as a commissioner was coming from the tax-paying residents of this county. I would hope that I would never tell a constituent that there is nothing I can do about it, unless, number 1, I knew that to be true, and number 2, I did my best to point them in a direction to a source that could help them. I also hope that I would reply to phone calls and emails from county residents as quickly as possible, and that I would encourage them to bring their ideas and their concerns to commission meetings. At 1:06 p.m., before leaving my place of work at 2, in order to ensure I could be here today, I received an email from a county resident, Linda Ireland. Many of you know her. She teaches at Doddridge County High School, and I quote, "I can't go to the meeting today because I have to work until 5:30 on most Tuesdays and Thursdays. I would like to lodge a complaint about the meeting time change. I would urge this body to reconsider the change and move the second meeting of the month back to 6 p.m. Thank you."
Mariana?
Thank you. I believe in reading the correspondence. I also handed you out an email that I printed out that was addressed to myself, to you, and Commissioner Sandora from Kendra Hatcher from Downstream Strategies, wanting to know when the 3rd sampling event could be scheduled. And I noticed in the correspondence and the meetings that I've been attending over the last year or 2 that emails are never considered as part of the correspondence. In the world that we live in, email is part of the correspondence situation. So I don't know what the stance is, but I feel that it needs to be addressed. And if people, county residents and constituents, are sending emails in response or requesting certain things, that they should also be included in the correspondence, or if they're not going to be included in the correspondence, those folks need to be notified that that's not a process that you're following. Thank you. And if you would like me, I have volunteered in the past to continue to work with Downstream Strategies and assist them in the sampling for Middle Island Creek upstream from the water intake. I will be more than happy to do that. The County Commission agreed to do 4 samplings over the course of the year. We've done 2. There appears to be something changing. So far, everything still appears to be within the levels, but what got me concerned when I read that was the changes in the radiation in that 3rd paragraph that you read. So thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak.
I think we had already addressed this in previous county commission meetings that we would have the 4. And Butch, do you have any problem with Mariana working with Kendra to schedule the?
No problem. We're glad for you to do it.
Okay, well, what I will continue to do is I will continue to notify when the event is occurring, okay? So
Okay.
that
Just-
everybody's in the loop.
Yeah, just because I received that email and I responded to her that I hadn't received the report from the second one, which she sent to me, and like I say, I forgot to bring it with me, but I printed it out. But just make sure that she knows to send.
Well, I believe that email that you're referring to, I was copied on it also, and you were addressed on it, and so was Ralph, I think, because that's what I printed, that letter that you read. But I will-
What I was talking about, I hadn't received the second report.
okay.
And I sent an email back to her, and she, she responded quickly, so.
Okay.
so
Thank you.
Thank you. Chris Arnold.
Good evening. I just wanted Tammy and everybody to know that we have been in touch with the state auditor's office, and they don't see where the problem is with anything going on. We always send Shelley Humphreys a pre-audit. She does a pre-audit, and she has done the pre-audit for this past year, and she finds nothing wrong with any of the figures. So I just don't know. If there's something you need, Tammy, come to me and I'll help you, okay? All right.
Thank you, Chris. All right, that concludes public comment. Okay. Next on the agenda, Mr. Herc Connor.
Yeah, first of all, we need to sign the agreements that you folks passed back in December, and made clean copies with the revisions that we put in them. The retainer agreement has Ralph's name on it as county, well, as president. And that was back in December, so I'm assuming Ralph can still sign that since it was passed in December.
That would be my thought too, yes.
I need the initial right there that we do consent to the recording. And that's the signature page. Go ahead and date today's date. The other one that needs signed is the agreement between the county and the town of West Union, and Joe Thorpe signed it as mayor. It's not specific as to who needs to sign it, but we read it and agreed to it at the last meeting in December.
Right.
So, you want to sign that one? Or do you want to
I would
keep
say
it consistent?
Since,
Okay.
yes, since Butch was the president when we approved it.
And the other next step in the process with the law clinic is most of the stuff is boilerplate stuff, making sure that we comply with the state code in moving forward with comprehensive planning. So they have a draft of an ordinance, and April reviewed this and approved it as it is here before she left, and 3 copies. You need a copy of this back. So this is just a draft. My understanding from April and other process is that you need to review this and agree or comment or disagree that this is what we want to move forward with the ordinance, and then it takes 3 readings once you, not counting today?
Not counting today?
I don't know, is that,
Not counting today, because you have to put it on the agenda.
yeah. So it'll be 3 readings, the next 3 meetings.
Okay.
If you all should agree that this is the ordinance.
Did you hear?
What does this ordinance do?
Establishes a planning commission.
So next meeting will be the first reading.
What's that?
The next meeting will be the first reading.
If they agree to do that, yes.
What we can do, each of the commissioners can review this and then get back with Beth to let you know whether if 2 or 3 of us agree, then we can put it on the agenda for next meeting.
If you have any questions or let me know, try to give me as much lead time so I can get with the law clinic lawyers.
Right.
If it's something that they need to answer, so
Okay.
good deal. Thank you.
Perfect.
Yes.
Did you get any copies of those or take it to the girls and I'll copy it?
Oh,
I'll
yeah.
have it for my.
One of them's got to be signed by the law clinic guy
Oh,
anyway,
okay.
so it's got to, yeah, it'll have to come back with his signature on it.
You're concluded now?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Next item on the agenda, Pat Heaster, OES report.
I apologize for being a meeting late, but Herc and I were both held up by the same obstruction last time we getting to the meeting. It wasn't a good day, that's mine. This is the monthly report for December for the OES, and I'll be back in 2 weeks with a monthly report for January. And some of the stuff has moved on since anybody else needs a copy of it. You'd like one? Okay. Basically, the month went by. We had only had 4 transportation accidents. The status of the trailer is active and in service. The truck status is active and in service. We have a mileage of 420 total miles on the truck. The radio has been installed. The truck is nice and warm and dry. It's in the garage and it's available for use. We still have to get lights and siren put on it, and we're working, trying to get somebody to come in and do it. I'm trying to spend as much of Beth's money as I can. She grimaces every time I bring a bill in. She never knows what it's for. Brush fire status, we're in January 1st. We're out of burn season now. You can burn anytime you want. If you get caught, you're still going to pay a fine, so I'd burn carefully. Technically, you're not supposed to burn when it's what they call red flag, and red flags when the conditions are humidity. We don't hit that very often. Rainfall for the year, we finished out 5.97 inches in the minus. We're short again this year, so the water table will suffer. The Middle Island Creek's at normal winter pool. We was up a little last week, we're back down. All the power outages we don't have any power outages or stuff like that. We have the generators that been installed at the animal shelter, but we run into a problem on the other generator on the December 10th. Mr. Kelly, I don't know what the name of their company is now. It changes. Jan Chapman's Key Oil. Yeah, but they hand out new hats every week, so you never know what the company name is. He contacted me and told me that the well that we were supposed to get the gas off of, they thought they owned, they don't own. And there wasn't any way legally that we could hook up to that well. So I told him, I said, that's not a problem. So he gave me the name of the guy that owns it. I contacted him on 21st of January. Finally, he was on vacation. I got a hold of him. His name's Bob Jones. He lives over in Lewis County. He thought the idea was okay, but I'm in the process of getting him paperwork and stuff like that back to him for to get tapped onto the well. It's a conglomerate of oil and gas people that own a bunch of wells. And I guess they get together and sell and trade wells every year. I don't know how it is, but he's got the custody of it. Jan Chapman, Mr. Kelly does do the service on the well. They do all the maintenance on the well, and they will do the hookup. So I'm in the process of getting back up there. I've got to get the well number off the well and get it GPS. And we're still holding on that. So that generator hadn't been installed yet. We had an LEPC meeting on the 15th. Went very well. The topic was mutual aid agreements, and we're not talking department to department. All the departments in the county, fire departments have mutual aid agreements, the emergency squads, all that stuff, all those are existing. But we're looking for a blanket coverage mutual aid agreement that starts with OES and covers the health department and the school board, and like if we have a mass casualty accident and we have to move people, then we're going to have mutual aid agreement with the school board to provide buses. Then we're going to have to figure out, we got to have certified drivers, and we got to do all this. So we got to start and work all the mutual aid agreements down. And I put their feet to the fire the other night at the meeting, and the most recent signed mutual aid agreement was 1996. So we need to update everything, and that's the next step in the process of the books. And so we're going to start the health department. I took their stuff up today, and we delivered all the mutual aid copies of all the mutual aid agreements, and they just cannot lay hands on theirs. So they're starting from scratch. But a lot of the fire departments had theirs, and I had a copy of the mutual aid agreement from the Doddridge County Emergency Squad to our fire department, a copy of the Doddridge County mutual aid agreement from the AA to our organization, and we copied all those, and we started, and we're going to start building back again. Do the departments, I told them the other night, they don't have to sign it, but they have to be aware of what they are. And with the dissolution of fire rescue, and we had all that stuff covered under fire rescue, and now it's went by the way, and the organization doesn't exist anymore, so we thought we'd better rewrite everything. So that's our next process. We have a 911 advisory board meeting on the 22nd at the 911 center at 7 p.m. and that'll be the next thing on the agenda. I also talked to Jim Steele today and set a meeting up for next Tuesday morning at 10 o'clock, and he is the gentleman that is heading up the program for the stream warning devices, the flood warning devices for the streams, and he is we're going to meet. I've talked to Mark West, and I've talked to some other people on that side of the watershed, and I've talked to some landowners on what they call the south side of the watershed for Middle Island, and we still have to contact some people. I brought that up at the meeting the other night, and where they'll give me some names of some people who live on the watershed. They'll give them access, and it's a what do you call it? Something lack of liability. In other words, it exonerates them from any liability and for their equipment being there and operating. So that's a go. Hopefully we'll have that written and blessed by the state when the money comes available July 1. But of course we're looking at any budget cutbacks or anything that we may or may not have in the project. In the meantime, I don't, across the board initially, I don't think Homeland Security is going to have a lot of budget reductions. So I think everything's going to be funded, and I don't think there'll be a problem with that. I think that's a go project, and that project is very important because it takes in Doddridge, it takes in Tyler and Pleasant County all together. That kills a lot of birds with one stone there. So we can get the whole system, and it can be a large section of the state monitored. A lot of counties just have the county in the middle, and they don't have the upstream, downstream situation, so they can't predict. That's pretty much it. I apologize for not being here the last time. I'd way rather been here than in that ditch. And Ronnie asked me if my truck got hurt. I said, just my pride.
Thank you, Pat. Okay,
Oh, Pat, I'm sorry. Pat.
Oh, I got one right here. Oh. I got gas cards now. The gas cards from 10 years ago didn't work.
okay, next item. Next item on the agenda, Doddridge County Library. We need an executive session. Would somebody like to move?
I move we go in executive session for the library at 4:36.
Got a motion to go into executive session. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Okay. Bo just checked, he says that it is out of flood.
It is out.
It is out.
Bo says it's out of flood. Now, it is up next to the street, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, whatever's beyond down that way is in the floodplain.
The parking can be down to there.
Are you ready, clerk? I will entertain a motion to go back into regular session.
I'll make a motion to get back in regular session at 5:45.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries. Okay, Doddridge County Library.
Okay, as most of you know, we have been, as a library board, we've been looking for a place for a new library for over a year. We've had a couple of places we've looked at, and some of them were cost prohibitive, but most of them, it was people just was not willing to work with us as a library board in building a new building. And we need as I told you all, the three biggest reasons we need another space, another library is parking, parking, and parking. And I think we all agree with that. And so we have come up with, we've had an individual that has been willing to work with us as far as getting a new library is concerned. I think most of you know where it's at, what's going on. I mean, we've been told, but he has proposed a building of about 12,000 square feet, and he has offered to build that building for a lease with the option to purchase at the end, and for $9,500 a month, which would be total at the end of the 25 years, $2,850,000, and we could have that building. We are here to request that the County Commission help the library board and with us in this purchase. In return, we would be turning over to you and giving you our building across the street, which you could use then as storage, offices, and whatever your needs would be. So as a library board, we would like to present that proposal to you, that we can enter in, put an agreement to do that.
What was the appraisal value for the?
The appraisal value for our building was $200,000. This came from a commercial appraisal.
Okay. And you had gotten information from a commercial builder?
Yes. Commercial builder, I talked to City Windows, and they said that depending upon whether prevailing wage had to be used or whether we could build it without prevailing wage, would be, the cost of a 12,000 square foot building would be somewhere between $2 million and $3 million. High 3 million, low 2 million, that they would build a building for us.
The 2 million figure would be without prevailing wage?
Without prevailing wage.
Okay.
And that's going to depend, and that was the lowest possible. The average, the average for building a non-prevailing wage was 2.16 million. That's at $180 a square foot.
Okay. Any questions, Ronnie?
I'm good.
Butch?
No questions, I think we discussed everything
Well,
pretty much.
I had asked you if you would take any questions. Do you think that now is probably the appropriate time?
Yes.
Okay. If anybody in the audience has any questions, direct them to Richard.
How much assistance will the commission be giving you all? Will they be making the whole payment, or will they be making part of the payment, or what?
In return for our building, we have discussed possibly probably making the whole payment, and at the end of the time, instead of us as a library board owning the building, it would be owned by the county commission.
Where would this be located?
On Old Route 50, just above the Shop and Save, and it's out of the floodplain. If anybody would have questions, that question.
That's okay. Is this specifically a single-use building? It would just be library only?
No, this building would be a two-story building. It's going to be 12,000 feet. The library will be using about 9,000 feet of it. The other part of it would be used for office space.
Now you said two-story building.
Two-story.
Library on the first or second?
Library on the top floor with access from the road in. We would have a meeting room and a genealogy room in the bottom with access from the bottom, or stairway going up and down. So
Okay, so there would be
handicapped accessible both floors, yes.
You do have copies of the floor plan?
Yes.
For anybody that would want to?
Yeah, if somebody would like to see the floor plan. Any others?
What type of structure are you looking at? Is it a
Block
masonry?
Block with brick veneer. Any others?
Any other questions?
Whenever you say down, you're talking this would be street level and then a basement,
Yes.
right?
Well, it's
I know the lot's on a slope.
it's on the slope, yes.
So-
So basically, yes. Street level for the library from up to on top. Parking would be in front for some. Then there would be parking in the back and the side.
And this reception and work area, engineering, survey, and survey equipment,
The bottom
The
floor,
break room?
that would be used by
the other company.
the builder, yes.
Is he going to be paying any rent to you all for the use if you're
Right.
you're buying the
His
building?
proposal right now is to lease it for 25 years, and it's sort of a lease purchase, and that at the end of 25 years, then the commission would own the building
And he pays nothing?
for those 25 years, because he would take care of the maintenance, the audit, everything like that. They're all his responsibility.
Would that include like him taking care of like technological upgrades? Because over 25 years, there's going to be quite a few advances in technology.
You mean like stringing new cable or, I mean, if, just as an example.
Whatever.
But, yes, I mean, so much is going wireless, I mean, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean, we have no idea what's.
Exactly, we don't know, and that hasn't, we haven't talked about the technological upgrades, but the maintenance, he has agreed that that is his responsibility, taxes and whatever. Any others?
No other questions? Okay. I will make a motion that the Doddridge County Commission agree to a lease purchase contract to lease purchase the building for 25 years at $9,500 per month, with the library board contributing their current building appraised at $200,000 to the Doddridge County Commission, and that the payments begin when the building is available for the library to move in, and that we insert a provision in the agreement that should the Doddridge County Commission wish to pay off the building, or I'm sorry, exercise the purchase option for the building prior to the 25 years, that be negotiated between the Doddridge County Commission and the building owner as to the amount necessary to exercise the lease purchase option.
Okay, that was a long motion.
Can I say something here? Just, are you going to put a set limit of $9,500 a month? Is there a set limit on the price to the building?
That, the
$2.85 million.
The proposal was $9,500 per month for 25 years,
At which time we
with
would
no
own it.
provision
At which time we would
for
own it.
an increase.
That's the way I read that agreement.
So $5,700,000.
Pardon?
No, $2,850,000 would be the maximum.
Oh, okay, so it caps
Yeah.
off at that.
It caps off at that, yes.
Okay.
$9,500 a month for 25 years equals $2.85 million. So that would be total cost for the building.
Any questions? Ronnie?
No, I'm good.
Butch?
Questions? Nope.
I'm not going to repeat the motion. You all heard the motion. I would ask, let's vote individually on this. Butch?
Yes.
Yes.
And I agree, yes. So we have agreed to this, and you can tell Mr. Webb, and it's your understanding that he wants to start immediately and hopefully have this by the middle of this year.
That's my understanding.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Thank you.
If anybody else wants to see, I'm sure that you can go out and they'll show you the plans. If anybody else wants to see.
You want to pass it around, let other people see? I mean, if anybody wants to do it. Does anybody else want to see the copy of the plan? Want to wait and see the building? Okay. Okay to publish this? Okay to publish it yet?
We have, I mean, you know, our meeting is an open
It's an open
meeting,
meeting.
and we have agreed, so
I would think.
Good, okay.
I have no problem with it.
Has anybody texted
That's why I
anybody?
was looking,
if,
that's why I was looking around.
I'm assuming here, if he would not agree to that, then we're back to
Square one.
Square one,
Yeah,
if he would not agree.
and we'd have another set of plans that was drawn up by his engineers.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
Now, is he
I
gonna
don't
vacate
know.
the building once it's paid off?
Big part.
Once we pay the building off, is he gonna vacate the premises, or,
No.
No, that he would start paying us rent,
okay, and now,
or he'd pay commission rent. I mean,
right, and I guess the second part to that question would be, is he able to go ahead and lease that bottom half out to another company?
Would he,
Would he be able to do that?
you mean, if he vacated now and
Right.
still owned it, that would have to be an agreement with,
Okay, I was just curious, because like I say, you know,
yeah,
you pretty much know who's there now, but,
right. Who might be in the future.
right,
Yes.
no crystal ball.
Until we would either pay it off over 25 years or negotiate and exercise an option to pay it off early, he would still be the owner
Yes,
of the building.
Okay, I understand.
and he would be responsible for all maintenance and upkeep.
Okay.
And I suppose if he wanted to vacate and lease, sublease, whatever he.
Would be his
He's the
option,
owner,
right?
he's the owner of the
do it.
building.
Yeah,
Right.
okay. Thank you, we appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. And we're sorry that it took so long, but congratulations.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I think it's awesome.
Yes, okay, thanks. Okay.
I mean, do you guys think it's a good deal? Okay.
I think it's awesome we're getting a new library.
I think it is good for the county.
Yes.
It is.
Absolutely.
Don't get me wrong, it's a lot of money, but well spent.
It's comparable to what, anything that you build nowadays.
Yeah.
It's halfway decent.
But it's gonna come into town now, so you're gonna see a brand new building in town. Hopefully you'll bring something else into town.
And honestly, $180 a square foot is not bad.
No,
Not for a masonry building.
And it's for the community.
it's
Yes.
right, yeah, you say right there, Dave.
Right there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay, on to the next item, website, bid for publication.
I talked to Brooke, and she gave me, of course, she didn't know what was specified for the website itself. She didn't know about that, but she gave me some things to put in the publication, and then I talked to the lady from Revise, and she told me what would be required and all that. So I did not have a chance to get it up for you to review this evening. I will work on it tomorrow and email it to all of you so you can see it and approve before I put it in the paper. Okay?
Okay,
So if you have any,
is that agreeable with everybody?
Really?
Okay. All right. So we're going to technically table this?
yeah, the Global Science contract, the only thing I need to check with, there were some changes in it that Brooke found when she compared it. They had added a couple of paragraphs. One was concerning security, and they were just covering themselves so that we would be aware that they do not provide security for our computer stuff. And of course, each one of us has our software companies provide the security that for us. And the other one, I think, was added because of the sheriff's office over here. they added in that they would cover any commission buildings or annexes within 1/8 of a mile. The only thing, so that covers them, the only thing I need to do is to, and the guy the director was supposed to have called me today. He either got busy and couldn't, or he couldn't get through to us, one or the other, but I need to make them aware that we do have another building with computers and things that are going to be in it, and so I don't know if that will change. The price had not changed. I don't know if that will change it or not. So as soon as I can contact him and find out for sure, I'll let you know.
Okay. Next item on the agenda, Doddridge County Ambulance Authority, approved new board member. I had this placed on the agenda. I would like to nominate Shirley Williams as a member of the Doddridge County Ambulance Authority Board of Directors.
Are you losing a member?
Not that I know of.
You just want to add another one?
Yes. Anybody?
I'll make a motion to approve Shirley as a new board member.
Okay. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Nay.
Okay. Motion carries. Now, we had discussed this at the last meeting, and it had to be put on the agenda to act upon it. Discuss meeting between DCEMS and the DCAA. I've got a suggestion, and we'll see where it goes. I suggest that the DCEMS names 3 people, and that it could be the DCEMS Board of Directors would name 3 people. The Doddridge County Ambulance Authority Board of Directors name 3 people. And I think that there should be a county commissioner on this. We can't have 2, obviously. So I've got a history. Butch has got a history. I would suggest Ronnie. Now, that's my suggestion. And we'll see what, do you have any?
Well, I'd like to see the full boards meet, so I'd like to see full board from the Ambulance Authority and the board from the EMS meet.
Well, then that's, I mean, the problem with that is then that has to be it's an open meeting law, if the full board.
Oh, okay.
But they can go into executive session.
Well,
I have a problem with 3 people going back and reporting to other people, because it seems like whatever is said gets kind of confusing along the way, you know what I'm saying? That's what I've experienced. I would rather for the full, all the boards, everybody get together and sit down. However many's on the board, go there, sit down, try to work it out. Everybody's going to hear the same thing.
I can see a potential issue there in that the board members for the ambulance authority may not have the details that they need to negotiate. So, you know, if the problem is if you get too many people, you end up, I don't know, I won't say you end up with a circus, but it's got the potential to be a circus.
But it can be conducted in an orderly manner. If three people go, are they going to know how to negotiate the 3 people? You're saying that the 5 people won't know how to negotiate.
I didn't say that they won't know how to negotiate. What I said is they may not have the details that are necessary. They're not there day to day in the operation.
Well, I don't understand your point with 3 people. How are they going to know?
Well-
Different.
I didn't say 3 board members, I said 3 people.
Like you said, 3 board members.
No, I said 3 people nominated by the DCEMS Board of Directors, 3 people nominated by the DCAA Board of Directors, and Ronnie.
I don't think that's a good idea. I think the board members are the people that has to do this.
So, we can vote on, well, let me just back up. Do you want to make a motion?
Yeah, I'll make one.
Okay.
I'll make one. I move that the board of directors from the AA and the board of directors from the DCEMS schedule a meeting to try to work out situation, what's best for both organizations and Doddridge County. Does that sound fair? I don't know how else to word it.
Okay, we have a motion before us.
Each organization and Doddridge County, is that what you said?
We have a motion before us. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Aye.
Aye.
Okay. So then I will make a motion that there be 3 individuals named by the EMS Board of Directors, and there be 3 individuals named by the DCAA Board of Directors, and the Doddridge County Commission be represented by Ronnie Travis. Everybody understand the motion? Okay.
I understand.
Okay. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign.
Aye.
Motion carries.
I know, Ron's, like you said, has no history with what's going on. Will there be any kind of a nonpartisan mediator involved? At one point, we had Mr. Rock involved. Will there be anybody like that to help cipher through the difficulties of?
I think that, this is just my opinion, that would be determined by this new organization, if you want to call it an organization or group. If they determine that they need somebody, then I think that's up to them. It's my thoughts anyway. Everybody else?
Tammy wants to stay there.
I just have a question. My understanding is the reason that you want it to be 3 and 3 is so, or 3 people, not necessarily board members, is so you can avoid having to hold an open meeting?
That's one aspect. Okay. Next item on the agenda, North Central Regional EMS assessment. Beth gave me this. It is the assessment based on the population of 8,202, and that's 5% per capita, so the total bill is $410.10. And they gave an explanation. This source of funding continues to be utilized to benefit our entire 13 county service area. Funds have been expended during 2014 for the following: $2,200 for the Glennis Q. Cather Scholarship, $12,000 for paramedics 48-hour refresher course, which is required to renew their certification, $10,000, which is advanced care technician bridge course to paramedic level, $3,000 National EMS Week activities and recognition, $2,000 for Pierpont Community and Technical College for new training equipment. Do I hear a motion to approve this assessment?
I move to accept it, approve it.
We have a motion to accept the assessment of $410.10 from the North Central Regional Emergency Medical Services, Inc. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Just sign right here, anywhere?
Yeah.
Hey, Greg.
Yeah, just an invoice we get every year.
What is this? I've been in EMS for 30 years and I've never heard of it, so I'm just questioning.
It says the North Central Regional EMS, Inc.
Where's that at?
1829 Pleasant Valley Road, Fairmont, West Virginia, 26554.
Yes, yeah.
That, okay. It's just under a different name from what we normally hear referred to.
Okay, it serves Barber, Braxton, Doddridge,
Yeah.
Gilmer, Harrison, Lewis, Marion, Monongalia, Preston, Randolph, Taylor, Tucker, and Upshur counties.
Yeah, that's our regional TSN.
And that explains, I thought, $410, and we started $2,200, $12,000, $10,000, but you've got a lot of populated counties there.
Mhm.
That's TSN, it's Pierpont College, and it's where Gail Group works out of, and all that.
Okay,
Is this something we normally pay?
We pay this annually.
Okay.
okay. Letter of approval to DMV Ambulance Authority vehicle titles to commission. I'm not sure what.
Beth, can you explain it better than I can?
Well, when the titles were made at the beginning, when they bought the ambulances, they weren't all titled to the commission. Some of them are under the ambulance authority. Now, when we got the loan paid off, we got the whole of the titles, and now we want to change them all over to the commission's name. But the DMV won't do it unless the commission has a letter saying it's okay to.
So I have a letter, it was made out to, I made it out to the ambulance authority, but that is, do you know, Chris, if that would be okay?
I'm sure it would be. Did you talk to Cole?
No, I didn't.
No, I talked to Cole, just that the DMV said they needed the letter.
So I put at our meeting of January 20, 2015, the commission gave their approval for the titles of the Doddridge County Ambulance Authority vehicles to be licensed in the name of the Doddridge County Commission And now, but if there were questions, they could contact the president or myself. So I just need you to make a motion.
Yes, we need a motion.
I make a motion, we approve that, transfer the license.
We have a motion to approve the transfer of the license. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay. All right. We have does anybody know if Deputy Satterfield is?
She was here, but she left. I don't think
She might be near the building.
What we'll do is we'll move on to the next issue is another executives, and maybe somebody could go over and see if
Bo, is one of the guards out there?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe he can call over and ask her, see if she's there, yeah.
Okay. All right, well, we'll just kind of hold on for a second or two.
I think she just left, there's no answer.
Okay. All right, well, we'll just table that. Civil Service Board, and you're requesting executive session?
Yes, please.
I presume that's for personnel reasons?
Yes.
Okay. Entertain a motion
I make a motion, we go in second station
What time?
at,
6:20.
we have a motion to go into executive session at 6:20. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Executive session is now in session.
Thank you.
I have done my duty for today.
All right.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion to go back into regular session.
I move we go back to regular session 6:48.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. That completes our regular agenda except for, is Bo out there?
Yeah,
He was.
in the other room.
He was out there.
Yeah. Can we go get him? He was with Beth.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
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 Bo, you're front and center.
Hey, all right. Okay, the last meeting, of course, we had the weather. Now, I wasn't able to make it over here, so the actual reports didn't get printed. You've got this in front of you from last week. What I did was I did not, still pending, nothing changed on that, so I didn't print two reports of still pending. I just printed the one, updated the dates until today. There was only one new application that came in, which was entirely out of the floodplain. Of course, that was approved because it was out of the floodplain. That was for EQT production for a WEU3 well pad pipeline project. Not too much else going on as far as floodplain. We know that we've seen on the reports nationally and regionally as well that the Marcellus industry in of itself right now is undergoing some changes because of the gas prices. Lots and lots of layoffs, lots of projects put on hold. I don't know how that's going to necessarily affect us as far as production, as far as the county goes, as far as production off the county wells and revenue from those. I don't know how that's going to affect. I would assume that we would see a slight downtick, but if that well's already pumping, you know, they probably won't. You know, they're gonna get to that as quickly as they can. So it may not impact at all as far as revenue coming off of that. Where we may see some impact, it might be in new projects such as the multi-billion-dollar pipelines that are going both north and south. We may see those projects slow down a little bit. Especially some of them are still just in the, you know, the advisory phase, and they're trying to look at potential paths and things like that, so they don't have a lot of money invested in those. Not to say that those things won't eventually happen. They probably will. They most likely will. We were talking about the cracker plant and everything else. You know, there's things I'm sure will eventually happen, but we may see a slowdown on it. It may be a 6-month delay, a year delay, maybe a 2-year delay. I just don't know. Right now, it is too volatile within the marketplace itself to make any long-term predictions. I know the volume here has slowed down as far as new projects. Some of that could be just attainable to the weather and the time of year. But I think more of it has to do with the actual financial aspects of it. Because the companies, knowing the timeline and for the approvals for the permits and things like that, if they want to get really hopping in the springtime, right now would be when they'd be putting the projects in to go through the approval processes so that they could start as soon as the weather gets good. So since we're not seeing a lot of activity, I would guess that the spring will probably be pretty light around here. Hopefully it'll pick back up by summertime. The only other thing that I have really for the commission, update on the Ross property. I talked to Mr. Tennant, Ralph, after I talked to you, and Mr. Robinson, Greg, after I talked to you as well this afternoon. Mr. Tennant called and left a message. The Rosses, through their attorney, have refused, period, point blank, to allow the H&H study to be done on their property. So Mr. Tennant is going to be filing a motion with the courts to get them back into court and to force them to allow us to do the H&H study or to remove every single bit of it. It's going to be their choice. The judge said from the bench the day of the hearing that the H&H study had to be done. And he said, you guys work it out amongst the lawyers. Well, we have come back and tried to do that, and the Rosses are absolutely refusing to even allow access to the property. So from my viewpoint, standpoint, yeah, that's kind of a no-brainer for the judge, because now they're not only telling us no, they're telling the judge no. And so I don't really see how the judge is going to come back and go back against his own word, you know. And my thought process is, well, if you won't let us do the study, then there's no way for us to scientifically prove what is there, what's not there. The only solution is to remove it all, since it's a question. And then it'll be back in their hands. So, as far as the timeline, no clue. I would hope that it would be as quickly as possible. I've expressed to Mr. Tennant that time-wise, we're looking rapidly at the spring flood season approaching. And if we're going to get this work done and get that fill out of there and avoid any potential flooding issues, it needs to happen sooner rather than later. So hopefully he'll put a fire under it and we'll have a court hearing by the end of the month. That's what I would expect to happen. Other than that, the Mark West property, the Sherwood facility, is still being reviewed. They submitted for a letter of compliance. We've got our engineering firm looking over the data that they provided, and they're actually working person to person with Mark West's engineering firm because they had some questions on some of the data. So they're negotiating that amongst themselves. Mark Stanley will get back to me with a report on that soon. They also went out and did the surveying and the groundwork for the Big Island Run Road Bridge for the replacement on that. We haven't looked at the Route 23 bridge yet because they're just swamped with other projects. So we're trying to get one project at a time. We'll go ahead and get the Big Island Run looked at, assessed, and see how we want to proceed on that one. And then we'll start working on the Route 23 one, try to get that one out there too. And that's it.
That's the one you and I visited?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, yeah,
The
absolutely.
Big Flint Bridge.
Big Flint, sorry.
Yes.
Sorry, yeah, Big Flint. What did I say?
Big Island.
Big Island.
I'm going, where is the Big Island?
Big Island, Big Island.
Okay, all right.
I wasn't sure where
I
that
just wrote
was.
Big Flint because I knew where you were.
Okay, all right. Thank you all for correcting me. Other than that, I don't have anything. Tammy?
What's going on with Mark West? I thought everything was settled and done and over with.
Well, at the end of the process, once the permits are issued and everything, once they get their work done, the companies have to apply for a letter of compliance, and then we go in and verify that, yes, they have done everything the way that they said they were going to do it and things. So rather than just do a visual, which I would do on like a pipeline or something like that, to see that the earth was replaced and reclaimed, we're actually having our engineering firm look at what Mark West has done and engage to work with their engineering firm to make sure that T's are crossed and the I's are dotted, to make sure that they did in fact do what they said that they were going to do in the first place.
Okay, weren't they supposed to have 10 stacks up there by the time they were done?
This is different permits. So the permit that they're asking for a letter of compliance on right now is 103, which was not the full master plan.
Okay.
So different aspects of that's a multi-phase development there at that site. So this is only one phase of. So, that's part of our due diligence is to verify that they've done what they said they were going to do. Because any company can come in and say, well, we're going to do this, and then turn around, get their permits, and then they turn around and do this. And then it's up to us to then go in and say, okay, well, you didn't do this, you did this, so now we're going to put a stop work order in or fine you or whatever else, we can do. It's basically the same thing with the Ross, with the Ross property. They were given permission to do X, and they did X, Y, Z, A, B, C, and D. And so we had to say, no, you were not allowed to do that. You were not authorized to do that. And so now that's why we're in court with them. So it's the same thing, same process. So, any other questions?
Thank you both.
Thank you all. Good night. On my way.
Be careful.
Absolutely.
I put you on there even though I don't think you're on the agenda.
Was I on?
I don't think you are. Maybe I'm.
I didn't see it.
They're down the bottom of it.
Well, somehow you got obliterated.
Mom, how did you forget
I'm
me?
sorry.
It's my adopted mom. She forgot me.
Thank you, Bob.
Everybody keep
She still loves you.
Thank you.
I'm sorry I obliterated you. I didn't mean to.
It's okay. It's okay. I'll remember it on your birthday.
Yeah.
Okay. It looks like all we have left are invoices, exonerations, probate orders, budget revisions, and payroll. Do we have any budget revisions?
No.
Okay, no budget
This is
revisions.
wrong, it's signed his credit card. You have to sign his signature. Credit card, you said, and as the card holder and the program coordinator.
Okay.
And there's 2 pages.
2 pages usually it is.
That way you get your credit card taken care of.
Does this,
Oh, yeah, I guess we'll have to mark that out. We'll do that in the assessor's office.
okay, so you can mark it out.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Before you leave.
We don't need to, do we need to vote on these
We usually do.
exonerations?
Seems like you should. It goes in part of the minutes. We put it
Well,
in the actual.
If we need to,
I think it'd be a good idea to. Because you're approving them.
We have
Coordinator.
it says a cancellation order, I guess, it's not canceled.
Do you know what it is? Okay.
Wonder if I should read the person's name. Yeah, the face amount of the tax is $35.84, and it was canceled. It was on a vehicle. I'll make a motion that we approve this. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. And we have another cancellation. And it's for a construction company. The amount of the tax is $292.14. The correct value is 0 because the person indicated they didn't own the vehicles on the date. I'll make a motion to be approved. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay.
May I ask one question before I leave? Last meeting, you approved the dates of the meetings. Can you tell me when the meetings are going to be for the tax?
Review and equalization.
Yeah, and when the budget meetings are going to be?
Budget meetings haven't been set yet, I don't think.
The first review and equalization is, let me give you a paper.
Thank you.
So I just gave you one copies. You have different things then that come out next week and the next week. I don't see this awful. And I was trying to work on the other side.
There's many interruptions today for some reason.
I had all,
Everyone,
they all ran out of names.
last week I didn't get anything.
I even had people I was supposed to call back and I didn't know. I ran out of time. Most of it was the state.
Somebody needs to get a hold of a plumber for the apartment B. There's a water leak over there. Water's turned off, but there's a leak in the bathroom of apartment B. Thank you. There's one in Salem that's doing some work for us, but I don't know what.
Thank you.
You know the King Brothers, I don't know if they have time or not.
Do they still work?
Yeah.
Okay.
They, one of them could probably do it in an evening. Can you contact them?
I'd rather when the commissioners do that.
Or?